Hello, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to learn listening English with a story. Story, Road Trip to the Beach. Chapter 1, The Open Road Beckons. Mark, a young man in his early 20s, stood beside his old but reliable blue car, affectionately nicknamed Bluebird. It was a sunny Friday morning, and excitement buzzed in the air like the summer insects already starting to chirp. Mark was about to embark on a long-planned road trip, a solo adventure driving through 5 states to reach the sandy beaches of Florida. He had just finished his university exams and felt the urgent need for a break, a change of scenery, and the freedom of the open road. He'd packed his car the night before: a tent, sleeping bag, a cooler box filled with snacks and drinks, a guitar, and a road map, although he mostly planned to rely on his phone's GPS. Mark checked his list one last time. Sunglasses? Check. Sunscreen? Check. Beach towel? Check. Music playlist? Double check! He grinned, feeling a surge of anticipation. This trip was all about escaping routine, embracing spontaneity, and finally seeing the ocean after months of being cooped up studying. His parents came out to wave him off. His mom, always practical, handed him a small container of homemade cookies. "For the journey, dear. And drive carefully. Call us when you reach Florida." His dad, ever the adventurer at heart, clapped him on the back. "Have a fantastic time, Mark. Enjoy the freedom, see the sights, and make some memories. But remember, safety first." Mark hugged them both, feeling a warmth of love and support that made him even more eager to make this trip a success. He got into Bluebird, adjusted the mirrors, and turned the key in the ignition. The engine sputtered to life, a familiar rumble that sounded like a happy purr to Mark's ears. With a final wave to his parents, who stood at the end of the driveway, Mark put the car into gear and pulled away. As he drove down his street and onto the highway, a sense of exhilaration washed over him. The open road stretched ahead, promising adventure, sunshine, and the sound of ocean waves. He turned up his music, a playlist of upbeat summer tunes, and Bluebird hummed along, eager to begin their journey south towards the beach. 5 states, countless miles, and the promise of the ocean breeze. Mark was ready for it all. Chapter 2, Miles and Music. The first day of driving was smooth and enjoyable. Mark cruised along the highway mile after mile, watching the scenery change outside his window. He started in his home state with rolling green hills and forests. Then he drove into the next state, where the landscape became flatter, with wide-open fields and farms stretching as far as the eye could see. He listened to his music playlist, singing along to his favorite songs, feeling the wind in his hair as he drove with the windows down. He stopped for lunch at a small roadside diner in a quiet town. He ordered a big burger and fries, feeling hungry after hours on the road. The diner was simple but friendly, with old-fashioned decorations and a waitress who smiled and chatted with him about his trip. In the afternoon, the weather started to change. The sky became cloudy, and the wind picked up. Soon, it started to rain, not just a light shower, but a heavy downpour. Mark had to slow down and turn on his windshield wipers to their fastest setting. The rain made driving a bit more difficult, but he didn't mind too much. He put on some slower, more relaxing music and enjoyed the cozy feeling of being inside his car, listening to the rain drumming on the roof. As evening approached, Mark started to look for a place to stop for the night. He had planned to camp to save money, but with the heavy rain, camping didn't seem like a good idea. He saw a sign for a small motel just off the highway and decided to check it out. The motel was called Sunset Inn, and it looked a bit old, but it was clean and dry. The owner, a friendly older man, gave him a good price for a room for the night. Mark was happy to have a warm, dry place to sleep. He checked into his room, which was simple but comfortable. He took a hot shower, changed into some dry clothes, and then went to the motel's small restaurant for dinner. He had a simple meal of pasta and salad, reading a book while he ate. After dinner, he called his parents to let them know he was safe and sound. They were happy to hear from him and told him to be careful driving in the rain. Mark promised he would. Back in his motel room, Mark looked at his map, planning his route for the next day. He was still a long way from Florida, but he was making good progress. He felt tired, but content. The first day of his road trip had been a success, even with the rain. He drifted off to sleep, dreaming of sunshine, beaches, and the sound of ocean waves, excited for the adventures that lay ahead on day 2 of his journey. Chapter 4, Sunshine and a Clean Car. After fixing the flat tire, Mark felt much better. The sun was shining now and it was getting warmer. The dust from changing the tire was all over Bluebird, his car. He turned up the music and drove on. The road went through more green forests. He started to see bigger trees that gave nice shade by the road. He passed some small towns. They looked friendly and quiet. In the afternoon, Mark drove into the 4th state. He felt the air change. It was warmer and wetter now. He saw a sign for a nice viewpoint on the road and decided to stop. He parked Bluebird and got out. He stretched his arms and legs. The view was very good. He could see hills covered with trees. Far away, he saw a blue lake shining in the sun. The sun was going down slowly, making the view golden. Mark took his camera and took some photos. He wanted to remember this beautiful place. Then he opened his cool box and got a drink and a sandwich. He sat and ate, looking at the view. While he was sitting there, he noticed Bluebird. After driving for so long, and with the flat tire, Bluebird was very dirty. He thought, Bluebird needs a wash. He remembered seeing a car wash in a small town a few miles back. When he finished eating, Mark drove back to the town. He found the car wash. It was a place where you wash your car yourself. He parked Bluebird in an empty space and got ready to clean. First, he put some coins in the machine. He used the water hose to spray the car. This washed off the dust and mud. Then he took the brush with soap and started to scrub Bluebird. He cleaned the roof, the sides, and the wheels. Finally, he used the water again to rinse off all the soap. Bluebird was now clean and shiny again. Mark used a soft cloth to dry the car. He felt happy. Bluebird looked much better. It was ready to drive to Florida. Mark also felt better. The stop, the view, and washing the car made him feel fresh. He got back in Bluebird, which was now clean and sparkling in the sun. He checked his map again. Florida was still some hours away, but he was getting closer. He was excited to reach the beach soon. He started the car and drove on, towards the sunshine and the sea, with Bluebird shining brightly on the road. Chapter 5, Florida Sun and Ocean Waves. The last few hours of driving flew by, as anticipation grew with every mile. As dusk approached, the landscape transformed once more. The forests gave way to palm trees, the air became noticeably warmer and salty, and signs for beaches and coastal towns started to appear. Mark knew he was close. Finally, he crossed the state line into Florida. A large sign welcomed him to the Sunshine State. He grinned, feeling a surge of triumph. He had made it. 5 states, 1 flat tire, and many miles later he had driven all the way to Florida. He followed his GPS directions to the coastal town he had chosen as his destination, a place called Seaside Cove, known for its beautiful beaches and laid-back atmosphere. As he drove into Seaside Cove, the air was filled with the sounds of crashing waves and the cries of seagulls. He could smell the salty ocean breeze, a scent he had been longing for throughout his journey. He found the campsite he had booked online, a small, friendly place just a short walk from the beach. He checked in, pitched his tent quickly, and then, without even unpacking properly, he grabbed his beach towel and headed straight for the ocean. The beach was even more beautiful than he had imagined. Soft, white sand stretched as far as he could see, meeting the turquoise waters of the Atlantic Ocean. The sun was setting, painting the sky in vibrant colors of orange, pink, and purple. The waves were rolling in gently, creating a soothing, rhythmic sound. Mark kicked off his shoes, feeling the warm sand between his toes for the first time in what felt like forever. He walked down to the water's edge, the cool waves washing over his feet, instantly refreshing after the long drive. He spread out his towel on the sand, sat down, and just gazed out at the ocean, taking in the beauty of the sunset and the vastness of the sea. He stayed on the beach until the last rays of sunlight faded and the stars began to appear in the darkening sky. The air was still warm and pleasant, the sound of the waves a constant, calming presence. He felt a sense of peace and contentment wash over him, a feeling of having truly escaped the stress of exams and city life. Over the next few days, Mark spent his time relaxing on the beach, swimming in the ocean, soaking up the Florida sunshine. He read books, played his guitar, and simply enjoyed the slow pace of beach life. He explored the small town, ate fresh seafood at local restaurants, and watched the sunset over the ocean every evening. He even met some friendly people at the campsite, other travelers, families on vacation, and locals who welcomed him to Seaside Cove. He shared stories of his road trip, and they shared their own travel adventures. As his short beach vacation came to an end, Mark felt refreshed, rejuvenated, and ready to head back home. The drive back would be long, but he didn't mind. He had achieved what he set out to do. He had escaped, he had found adventure, and he had reached the beach. He packed up his campsite, washed Bluebird one last time to remove the beach sand, and started his drive north. As he drove away from Seaside Cove, he looked back at the ocean one last time, promising himself that he would return someday. The road trip had been more than just a drive to the beach. It had been a journey of self-discovery, a chance to test his resilience, and an opportunity to appreciate the simple joys of freedom and the open road. And even the flat tire, in retrospect, had become just another part of the adventure, a story to tell, a challenge overcome. Mark smiled, feeling grateful for Bluebird, for the open road, and for the sunshine and ocean waves of Florida that had made his road trip dream a perfect reality. Hope you enjoyed the story. Please like and subscribe to my channel for more stories like this. Thank you.